Hey, it's Jeff from Renovision, and today we are doing something interesting. We are going to be comparing the difference between using the hock or the pan. To be honest with you, I've used a pan once in my life, and it was about 30 years ago. Yeah, and I wasn't a big fan, but a lot has changed in the last 30 years, and my skills have changed as well. So what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna demonstrate my favorite tool and how this operates versus this, and we're going to go at it from a few different perspectives, okay? One, comfort factor, right? Because work is work, and what's more comfortable to work with? What's more efficient? So speed. We're going to do a little mixing of mud challenge. I've been watching guys on YouTube shorts mixing their mud in their pan for their quick set 45, and I am just fascinated to think that that doesn't work. And so I want to try it for myself. I'm going to show you how to mix mud on the hock by yourself. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's just jump into it. I got a wall. I'm working on the basement project. And if you're not familiar with that series, then the playlist link will be down in the video description. We're doing an entire basement from start to finish, subfloor, theater room, the whole thing. So make sure you're part of that series. One half of this wall I'm going to tape. I'm using my hock. I'm going to do a butt joint. And on the other half, I'm going to use the mud pan for the other side of the wall, plus another butt joint. And then we're going to do the bulkhead, because that's a really great way to get a handle for, you know, if the tools are really effective or not. Step one, okay, which one's more comfortable? So when I'm taping, I just love these. These are my Nella trowels. They come from Germany, German stainless steel, brilliant quality material, ergonomic grip, right? This is my trowel, 4x12. And this is how much mud I throw in a hock. Because when I'm troweling with this bad boy, I'm going through a lot of mud, and I want to be able to carry it with me. And you'll see that I'm carrying it, my hand is like this, okay? It's very natural. So I'm actually using my bicep to carry that weight. Now watch this. We're gonna take this mud, I'm gonna throw it in the pan, and we'll see if the pan, first of all, can carry that much mud on it. All right, so there we go. Right away, not a problem with the volume. It looks like you might even be able to get a little bit more mud in here if you wanted to. But think about this. Now, I'm holding it like this. So now all of the weight is on my wrist, all day. Talk about carpal tunnel syndrome. All day, all the weight's right here, or all day, the weight's right here. Just something to consider, okay? So, I already know how to use these tools. Let's start off with the mud pan, and we'll do a couple of lines, and we'll see how it works. One issue I have, when I'm using this, I can't use this tool. It's not practical. I'm gonna slice my hands to ribbons. I can't work with this. My favorite tool is now out the window. Now I gotta rely on one of these blades. And everybody sees this, right? Right away, the first thing I'm noticing when I grab a hold of this tool is the mud is wider than the tool, which means every time I get mud out of here, my tool is completely covered in mud, and I'm gonna be making one hell of a mess trying to apply things. I'm just gonna get covered in mud and I know it. All right, so let's try this. I'm gonna do a butt joint. I'm just gonna do a fill, okay? Remember that the blade was incredibly straight. Let's see what happens here. Well, maybe with a little bit of practice, I would be more efficient at this. It's just strange how it doesn't want to come off. Okay. All right. I gotta feather it out now. Okay. That looks pretty good. That did a nice job filling. All right, so there's nothing wrong with the practical application of the tool, all right? It's just not a big fan of how much bloody mud you need to do this. You can go and need a little bit more. And the only reason I'm doing this is so I don't make a huge mess. I'll start out with a little bit of mud on my tool. We're gonna come back. Here's another thing I'm noticing. In order to do proper work here and get good pressure, and let's be honest, it's all about the pressure. I gotta use my thumb. Right? I gotta use my thumb to create pressure, and that really stinks. That's not a lot of fun. I can't imagine doing that all day long, pressing with my thumb. Maybe I'm doing it wrong, but I don't know how to. Yeah, with the thumb, it seems like you got more control. Let's try it out with the other knife, and we'll do the other side of this joint. Right away, just using these tools at all. How do you get all your mud out? You're never clean. That's just maddening, to be honest with you. All right. You can see right away, just the use of this tool, I stay clean. I can manipulate the mud. I can cut. I can create a new width. I can take the mud I want. Don't have to clean the edges as I go, right? And it's a nice, easy movement. The way I hold this tool doesn't change all day. And I can clean it that quick and easy. Now, when I come along on this joint, I'm gonna go on the top with pressure to clean the top side off. We can do the bottom with pressure. Okay, and then nice thin pressure consistent over the middle. That's a perfect fill. Every darn time. Not using my thumb, I'm not exhausted, I'm not sore, I'm clean. And I can manipulate the mud on this hawk all day long. Matter of fact, while I'm working, if I find a big chunk of dirt in my mud, I can just go like this on the hawk, run it off the backside, and leave that alone. And make sure I'm always working with clean mud. Time for a butt joint. These are notorious. This is a pretty good butt joint, actually. It's not too terrible. I installed it well with factory joints, stitched together nice and tight. Got the first coat, less is more, so I'm not creating too much depth. And here's how I'm gonna work. This is how I hold my trowel when I'm doing the walls, okay? Down here, I'm gonna do a little bit of a change. I'm gonna go work from the backside. So this is my regular position. I'm gonna roll it up and work off the backside. Look how easy this transition is. Take the back off the backhand, okay? Mud off the backhand. Set it, and forget it. Loving that. Now, that is the first coat on the butt joint, okay? What I like to do is go one coat on the left side, one coat on the right side. Now, for everybody who's new to taping, here's a great way to get rid of all of these bubbles, okay? Is not use so much bloody mud. Check this out. Now I'm cleaning with pressure on the left side of that knife. Cleaning with pressure on the right side of that knife. Okay? And I'm cleaning, coming straight up the middle, even pressure. And I should create a ridge. Here we are. That's a fill joint. So from here to here, that ridge, that's the same thickness. All right? And these bubbles are irrelevant because it's going to get one more coat. But that's how you work it. And that's nice and easy. Okay? Now, let's go see what it's like to do a butt joint with that other crazy tool. Right, here we go. I loaded up my mud pan. I got my big ass knife. I'm gonna try to manage this. Okay, so, same thing. We're gonna do a fill coat on the left side. Oh, I didn't get enough mud on there. Fill coat on the right side. Ooh. Obviously, I don't use this tool every day. I don't want to be too hard on it. My comfort factor is not weighing in on my decision here. It's all about the quality of the joint. Okay, so let's clean the left side now with left side pressure. And right side with right side pressure. And then right down the middle. Huh. Okay. Not sure why I got that. I got dirt in my mud. I have nowhere to put it. I guess that's what my jeans are for. Okay. There we go. Now, if you're a fan of the channel, you know I don't care about this ridge, okay? Because the next day when I come back, I'm just going to take my 4-inch knife and I'm going to just scratch that off and I'm going to fill one more time. What I care about is in between the corners of that blade. How does that look? And that looks pretty darn good to me. I almost want that mud translucent. It's so thin because I'm not trying to build out the wall. Remember, I've got a hump and every time I put mud here, I make the hump bigger, so I've got to fill wider. So I'm liking it. That actually worked out well. My arm's already getting sore holding this stupid pan. I'm feeling it right up in my wrist here. Wow. How do you guys work like this all day long? So, that's handy. Just to be honest, there's two versions of this knife. This is a stainless steel blade. The other one is that black blade. And if you've ever seen it, it's really super thin. And one of the reasons I hate that blade is because when you're going along making pressure, it actually will go bend around the mud and it leaves a pile of mud on the wall. This one didn't. That's nice and thin. So I'm digging the tool, I'm not digging the bucket. I almost wonder if I can use this blade with my hawk, but here we go. Once again, more mud on here than I want. We're gonna just do a fill on the bulkhead. Okay, and you'll notice that instead of a thumb here, I'm using my fingers now in order to create pressure on that blade. Because if there's no pressure, you're leaving too much mud. And in drywall taping, less is more. Okay, so the knife did a nice job, but my bloody wrist is killing me, carrying the weight of this mud. And if I'm on a ladder, I don't want to be filling this up with, you know, I'd do 2 or 3 feet of, and then go back and get more mud again. This thing would drive me crazy. Okay, and we're back. And there we go. There we go. I got my hawk. Oh, this is so much more comfortable. Same weight. I just took all the mud out of that pan, put it on my hawk. Now my wrist stopped hurting. Right there. And I'm not weak. I've been doing this my entire life. I like to think I'm in pretty decent shape. All right, let's run this off now. That was my fill coat and then my clean coat. One pass. That's not thick enough there. Oh, I hit something. Yeah, okay, now we understand. Now we see. Okay, this is filled. Do you see this area here? That other knife, the blade bends when you put pressure on it. It doesn't stay straight. So you're filling and you're cleaning with a warp. This blade is thick. It's not bending for you. So when you fill, you actually fill. I'll show you. I'll come back over the other knife's tool. Well, I needed a lot more mud there, didn't I? Now we're gonna fill it. Okay, now it's done. Listen, I know there's a lot of people using that knife and they make short videos and they're showing their skills and they're doing smooth edges and it's all nice and pretty, but it's on camera and the camera lies, okay? Now that's filled, it wasn't filled before. That would have cost me an extra day to fill it a second time and then go do a finish coat. That's a waste of time. If it's not gonna fill, it's not gonna be straight. Remember, those tools are generally used for people in production environments. They're not concerned about the quality of the work, just about the speed and getting it done. I don't know how in the world they think that this is not any faster. Sure is a lot more comfortable. Next, we want to do the mix your own mud challenge, huh? Let's mix mud on both of these out of from 45 compound, and we'll see what kind of results we get. All right, real quick before we mix our mud, let's clean off the tools and we'll see what the difference is like there. All right. Okay, done. All right. Bloody hell. As you can see, that's a real pain in the butt. By the way, my hawk is clean, the bucket ain't. But close enough for what we're gonna do now. Let's mix some mud. Okay, next test, sheetrock 45. Every good drywaller on the planet mixes their own mud on occasions because it has quicker drying time. It sets up. You can get 2 coats in the same day. A lot of guys will use mesh tape in 90. 45 is for repairs. I like to use 45 on my corner beads as a fill coat because I can really fill it up and then do a skim coat to cover in the same day. So here we go. Let's do the same process. I'll get 2 knives worth of powder. I'm not anticipating this to go well, but I'm willing to be proven wrong. Put in a little bit of water here. Yeah, okay, a little more water. Oh. Okay, a little more water. Like I said, obviously I don't use this tool all the time. I'm not comfortable with my ratios, but that's fine. Looks like I might have too much water in here now. That's okay. Just throw a little bit more of the dust in there. Now, this is a quick setting compound. Okay. All right, I guess that's close enough to being done. It looks like mud. Let's fill up here. All right. Here we go. This is the perfect test, actually. Okay, so here we go. Okay, let's do a fill coat. Without getting too worked up over this, I'm already disappointed because I know it's not filling the way it should. Just because of the nature of this blade, it bends underneath the weight. If you can't use pressure, you're gonna have pinholes everywhere. That's decent. I can't really. Oh, I'm trying to demonstrate how messy it is to work with this. Because as you're working, mud that comes out the end, it'll fall. And I'm like, I'm supposed to reach over with this scoop and catch it? That drives you nuts. Now I got it all over my bench. Yeah, not a good day. Now the challenge, what to do with the rest. Cleanliness is next to godliness, right? So I got 45-minute compound in here, and now I got to clean it out of the bucket. I'm gonna have to get a sink. I'm gonna need a sponge. I'm gonna have to wear gloves to clean this out because the edges are really sharp, you know? Like that'll slice you right open. So when I use the tool, I have remnants left over in there. Not a fan. Well, I don't need to clean it out because that'll be the last day I ever use this thing. Round 2, mixing compound on the job site without a bucket and a drill. Here we go. First, that's gonna go in there. And a second, okay. It's that simple. Just in the old-fashioned grade 5 volcano. Okay. Top dress it right out of the bakery. No icing sugar. It takes a little time to soak up though, guys, okay? But I would do this all day instead of fussing around inside that bucket. All right? Now I got control of that. Now it's time to mix it in. Yeah, now that's a little bit dry, obviously, right? That's fine. It doesn't take much, okay? There we go. Beautiful. Let's make it nice and creamy smooth. There we are. Silky smooth. Boom. Ready to apply. Now, of course, this scenario is really good if you're a painter, or you're prepping up a wall, or you're filling nail holes in MDF trim, right? And again, take it off the backside. All right, I'm gonna pull it towards me to apply it. I'm gonna clean the other direction. Always work back towards finished mud. Do we have any issues here at all? There we go. Again, it doesn't look like the other knife actually filled. I've got a huge ridge here. That's disappointing. That knife is straight under pressure every single time, and it fills. Oh, and as far as cleaning is concerned, now my tool's clean. Just saying. Well, at the end of the day, let me just say this. All my years of experience, I can work all day long, 8-hour shift. Usually I don't even stop for lunch. Holding this thing. Handle's got a hole in it, so if you've got a cart, you can stick it on there and it becomes like a tabletop for you to work with. This works with this tool. You've seen the action, okay? It's easy, it's simple. I actually had a guy that taught me how to tape years ago. His hawk was so old that the aluminum had actually been carved out from all the times that he'd cleaned the knife. It started to look like a throwing star. It was kind of funny. It's not about mud versus pan. This is a little bit more inconvenient. I find, you know, maybe over time I develop new muscles. I'm just concerned that the stress that's on my wrist here is on my ligaments, not on my muscles, okay? It's all up front. When you use this pan, you can't use my favorite tool. And that's the problem, because this tool outperforms this bad boy every day of the week, all right? So in my opinion, the mud bucket may be convenient. I didn't like the way it mixes. I don't like how it doesn't get clean. And I'm not a big fan of this tool. It doesn't fill well enough. It sure isn't any faster. It's definitely a lot more dangerous. If you want to play with the big boys, get professional tools. Get yourself a hawk with the Hawkmate. And you can carry all your knives on the edge while you're working at it. This thing, that's just dangerous and stupid and sloppy. Cheers to next time.